Welcome to Soulful Sundays. It's your favorite life coach, Dr. Boz. Today I want to talk about boundaries. Now, I talk about boundaries in two of my latest books and the importance of establishing them. But if I'm going to be transparent with y'all, that's for me, one of the hardest things to do. And I think for a lot of people, one of the most difficult things to do, because connected to boundaries are expectations, right? People have expectations of us. And when they hold us to them and then we don't um, meet those expectations, then we feel guilty, we feel shame. Sometimes it creates conflicts and shifts in our relationship. When we start to establish boundaries, same thing. Now it's on the opposite end. People getting their feelings about us establishing boundaries, and then they want to push back. And then we sometimes will, um, you know, kind of like take a seat back from those boundaries, but then the person pushes more and then we have to push back. And so I want to talk about, instead of talking about how to set boundaries, because you can read that in my book, I want to talk about why it's important and how it's connected to selffulness. Boundaries have to do with every area of your life. So start thinking about, where are you setting clear and consistent boundaries? And also, where do you need to start setting those boundaries? And you need to set boundaries if you are feeling resentful, if you're feeling stepped on or taken advantage of. Um, those are some signs that you need to set some boundaries. Uh, and fill the cup back up, right? So, for instance, what are your work boundaries? Do you have boundaries around work? Are there times that people cannot call you? Are there times that you're unwilling to respond to an email or check anything? For me, it is, as soon as that clock is over, I'm like, peace, I'm not doing it, right? Or I don't respond to emails while I'm eating. Like my lunch break is my lunch break. I'm gonna scroll Facebook. I'm gonna do whatever I want to during my lunch break. So those are boundaries that I set for myself over the years, that when I first started working, I wasn't setting those boundaries. So you also have to set boundaries around your personal relationships. And some of that can be around too, what you're willing to take on, um, whether or not you're ready to receive something. So if somebody calls and wants to unload on you, you can have boundaries around when you want to receive them. If you are dating, you can set boundaries around how soon a person needs to ask you out before they think we're going to go on a date. Like, no, you can't call me on Friday. Talking about what I'm doing later. You got to tell me a week or two in advance. These are boundaries. These are things that, one, teach people how to treat you, but also remind you that you are worthy of these things, and you get to control and dictate. You can't control and dictate the things that people say to you or their actions, but you can set clear boundaries. And if that person decides that they don't want to respect those boundaries, then you have it within you to be like, you know what? I don't have to do this, and you don't have to do it. And it's just that simple. It's simple, but it's difficult to do. So setting the boundary, because you know what you want. You know what you want a person to do, to not do. That part is easy. The difficult part is, again, holding people consistently to those boundaries, because they're going to push back. They're going to make you feel guilty. But again, all of this is connected to selffulness, in that your cup will be empty if you continue to allow people to disrespect those boundaries, to cross those boundaries, to push those boundaries, especially the ones who do it consistently. So, what you really want to do is you want to hold them accountable for those. And again, you can read about those in my book. One of the books, I tell you how to set boundaries. That's in From Girl to Grown, A Guide to Living Unabashedly. And then the other book, I talk about how to handle the backlash from the boundaries, which is my new book, Quiet Strength, Loud Confidence. All are available on Amazon, and both are available on Kindle, so you can download it and start reading it on your phone. You can skip right to that chapter on that. So boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Yes, they are hard to maintain, but they are simple if you sit and you really think about what you need from people and what you are willing to allow into your energy space. What are you allowing in your mind? What are you allowing in your physical space? So we got to set boundaries on all levels, and spiritual boundaries too. How are we protecting ourselves from things and from people and from energies? So that's all I got for you today. Enjoy your Selfful Sundays. Make sure that you remember that Selfful Sundays is not just one day. Being selfful is every day. It's finding moments in every day to be mindful and to focus on you or whatever that task is that you are doing. I'm about to go be mindful about this cup of coffee. Have a lovely, lovely week. Peace.